is Yip Busaba Yip from the Wuhing Society, based at Lahaina, Maui of the Hawaiian Islands. And today's talk, we're going to be talking about the Chinese New Year. And I'm actually going to bring in a screen share here. Let's see. There we go. So this is what we have here. Okay. All right. So let's see. Yes. So Yip, you feel free to, let's do a little check-in. Are there any updates that you might have about, let's see, from the Wohing Society or the museum there?
Yes, we are preparing for our upcoming event coming for the celebration of the Chinese New Year. The Lahaina Restoration Foundation working together with the Wohing Society and with all the volunteers to put together. So now we are preparing to have it the whole week free at the Wohing Museum in Lahaina. So we have lots of fun thing, and the big celebration is the lion dance that I will share with you all. What the meaning of the celebration and why and how we do the celebration. Also, the Wohing Society, the history of Wohing Society, how the celebration of Chinese New Year to be here in. So what's the meaning of the tradition and the celebration?
Yes.
Is that clear now?
Oh, that is, yes.
You start now, or you like move the screen or adjust something? This is good.
Okay, yes, that looks beautiful. And I actually see you have a little pig.
You see the pig.
Yeah, oh, there you go. Cute.
So with the year of the pig, so I have some pig here.
Well, I'm really looking forward to sharing this, let's see, your presentation. Thank you so much for putting it together. And then also for just coming on, I want to say a month before it actually comes that time. Yes, January.
Actually, exactly New Year China is February the 5th. It's follow the lunar calendars. But our celebration here in Lahaina at the Wohing Museum will be the whole week from the 4th to the 8th. And the big celebration is the Friday night of the 8th.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Wow. There must be so much preparation that needs to go into this.
Yeah, it's fun to do. And it's a second Friday night in Lahaina town.
Oh.
By the Lahaina Action Committee. So we work together, and the Lahaina Restoration Foundation and the Wohing Society. So it's a community celebration also on Font Street, and have been ongoing for many years.
That's great. Let's see. First of all, what I just noticed, there's a little something different. You're wearing a headpiece. Is this a traditional?
So today I like to honor the tradition. For the Chinese New Year is the red color that has a symbolic meaning of good luck. So when we the New Year's Day, we always bring the red color, the life force, and the blessing to start the new year. And this piece is I feel like the tradition of Chinese celebration far back is follow the lunar calendars of the farmers and the tribal people. Far back, they start this tradition long before. So I like to honor the origin of the celebration. And in particular, what comes to the Chinese New Year is the lion dance. So the lion dance is an important tradition. And far back, it happened 1,000 years ago among the tribal people, indigenous people, they do. So I like to honor the origin and the history of the ritual ceremony here. So that's the calling for me to share the story.
I do have one question. Could you please explain the difference between the lunar calendar and what we, because I do appreciate the lunar calendar, but I often get caught up with having to wish everybody Happy New Year on January 1st. Could you speak a little more about maybe the differences?
The Chinese, the lunar calendar, it follow in the old day is follow the farmers in the farming. So there are different ways. It's also is look at the year different. So for the Chinese, this one I like to share. So in the Western calendar, you are 2019 this year, but the Chinese 4717. You see the difference? So this is a Chinese year calendar, but this have a whole different system of counting the years and a little bit complicated to understand. But this is the Western 2019. So, but the way how the lunar calendar is happening, interaction, many elements that we consider is follow the farmers in the old days in the farming community. If we look at the nature, the phase of the moon and the elements, the different element interaction and it's follow the they call the yin yang, the Taoism. The life follow living. The Tao is a way of life, living in harmony with nature. So this calendar is a way of life of the people far back in the farming community. So it's very interesting to learn more. So like we said, the 12 cycle of the animals actually before it not the 12 cycle. The origin is related to the cycle of the farming. Okay, so it have many interaction of the element of the fire, water, meter, and earth. The interaction of all the elements during the farming season.
Okay, I can appreciate that really the farmers are very important in
yes,
terms...
in the old days. That's why we like to honor the origin, because that the ritual ceremony is an important part of the people's life in the old day, how to survive. And it, this calendar set up is a life cycle to capture all the element interact between human being and nature, and how we can survive, and also a lot of struggle. And it's not only the economic, the social, political also. The political, social, economic, and the spiritual aspect is interweaving together for the human life to survive. So in ancient China, we can learn through the history far back, and we understand why and how all many texts in the ancient time they keep track how the origin of things come to being and passing down to the political movement, economic and social change. So the calendar is keep track. It's not only the calendar, there are many texts for the history, the story from the whole day and passing down. But to ritual ceremonies, festivals, and it's very interesting to learn more. Actually, I still feel like I'm a student of learning more. So, like the celebration of Chinese New Year is a part of our life, but this year I learned a lot. But before I come share with you, I found some very interesting book about the Chinese New Year, the celebration, why the lion dance come to celebration. So when I look back, it understand the whole historical context and interrelated to political, like I shared with you, the spiritual aspect in all elements and how it is today. So it's evolving and transforming. And it's so exciting when you celebrate like the Chinese New Year, you understand where it comes from and how it used to be and how the evolving change into today and spread to all over the world.
Wow.
Why that happened. So very exciting. So thank you for the opportunity that you do good work to bring us sharing our story from the east to the west. Actually, in the history, it's very important for us to the connection interrelated and how actually when I talk to the lion dance, I will share more.
Okay.
Actually, the lion dance is come from Persia.
Persia.
Origin from China, but because of the Silk Road and then like what we do now, try to bring the world, the east and the west come closer. So the people start to make a journey and trading and during that time. So brought to the lion back from Persia to China. So interesting. That's one example to see how important we to share our story in the world come closer and learning from each other.
Yes.
And celebrate our life, the beginning of life, the beginning of New Year, the ending of one cycle to the beginning of another cycle. So this calendar holds a lot of things in the history also, in the calendar to understand. And when we look back to 1,000 years, we know the cycle may repeat again. So how we can hold ourselves and handle things in a good way and learning from the past, understand the present situation and for the future generation. So for me, I see and here what I learn and share is a confirmation about the journey that I walked through. Is learning from the past and the future generations. Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense. I really appreciate that you're explaining this to us, and I want to say thank you for coming up early and meeting me at this time. So what we can do then is I'm going to put myself on mute. If any question comes up, I'll sort of wave and then unmute. But I'm going to allow this space just for you to speak and to share about the Chinese New Year, the year of the boar, and it is now for you to present. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So Chinese New Year, is the celebration is one of the longest celebration, longest festival in the Chinese tradition. It's the whole month celebration. And then you may heard about people always say "Kong Hei Fat Choi" that in Cantonese. So this is the word that we use for the blessing for the New Year's. So "Kong Hei Fat Choi" is in Cantonese. Actually, is the wealth, prosperity in yours. And the Sun Yin Bai Long, that also in Cantonese is happy New Year. So this is a word we say blessing to each other during the Chinese New Year. And the celebration from back, like I shared with you, that the cycle of the 12 animals actually far back is not the 12 animals, is follow the farmers. But today everybody understand is the 12 cycle, and the bull is the last, is the 12 animals of the cycle. And this cycle of calendar is follow the Tao. You can see the symbol of the yin and yang. So one spot of black in the white, one white in the black. So as I said before, this is a symbol very significant to say how to live life in the center of peace and harmony. Follow the Tao on the ways. So this celebration have I will share a little bit. I already mentioned what the history, okay, and it will different, okay. Like even what's the significant meaning of the bull or the pig. So each year, different masters. So this is a story of the bull, okay. There are many legends, folk laws talking about why all these 12 animals, why each animal come in different, like the rat is the first animal and the pig or the bull is the last animal in the 12-year cycle. So there are many stories. So this is one story we like to share. Is the bull that I said, because the physical of the bull that they walk slow, so they came slow. That to the 12 animals that come in to see the Buddha, for this special gathering, and then the bull came late, is the last animal. So for me, I honor all the animals are significant. And what the meaning of this year is according to the nature of the animals. And different master may predict, may give message differently. The master from China, Malaysia, Penang, from Hawaii may say, this year we have to be careful, or this year we have to be, it's a good year. It's that we call follow the feng shui. Is the Chinese way to, and I'm not a feng shui master, but I will share a little bit of what interesting me is I honor all the animals are equally important and significant and have a special gift bring to the world. No one animal is better than the other. And that's what I believe. And the Chinese astrology, the elder shared with me, is important to there are a few principles. First thing is we pick what is fit you, what is right for you. So different masters may say this year you are not too good, or you have to be careful. They say many messages in the Chinese astrology, but you pick what is right for you and you make it happen. You make it happen. You the one make things happen what right for you. Like this year, the year of the bull, some elders said us we have to be very careful because it's a earth, the elements, as I said, is a brown earth, is a male boar or pig, and coming from the mountain, and then there may be some challenges happen to our life, to the environment and the world. So some master from Southeast Asia or from many countries, they may predict what will happen in the political, situation in the world, what things will change, and in the economic. And so in a bigger scale until very in your personal life. So for me, I think I remember when I was a child, my parents always took all the children to meet with the elders and talk about what will happen this year. So we have a piece of paper and we will write down according to the day, the year, and the month that we were born. And then the elder will say us, this year we have to prepare. Don't spend a lot of money. You have to prepare yourself. You don't travel to some area that it may have some accident. So for me, I feel like it's a very good way to know ahead what the future will come, and we can prepare ourselves and be ready to handle anything happen in a good way. So follow the principle, as I said. I remember the elder said, think positive. So no matter what things you think, we start from the positive view of looking at the world and yourself. So and follow the principle. They always have black and white. It's never black and white mean they always have some challenges. The positive and the negative is always dancing together in our life. One day I feel good, tomorrow I may feel down, not so good. One day I cry and one day I laugh. So I really like the way the teaching from the elder in this Chinese astrology, or we start the new year, we understand the nature, what animal we born, like I'm a dragon. So if I born in the year of the dragon, what the positive aspect, what the negative, the pro and con of myself as a dragon lady. So I know some weaknesses I should be taking care of. Something is a shadows in my life. I have to clean up and start the year. So this part interesting for us to learn from the Chinese astrology with the principle of think positive. We make things happen and we pick what is right for us, no matter what kind of messages from our master, because it's always different. So in the old days, China was so big, the whole country. So different community, they may see things different. That's why different master, they can predict things differently, give messages slightly different according to their background and to the way how they read to the old text and for the prediction. There are something in common and something different, but we pick the right thing for us. Okay. And for this year, there are many messages. So we already live up there from the first, okay. And also, the pig is a very special animal. So we like to share a little bit. This is a very exciting, I like to thank you, Dennis Ryan, our good friend, who shared with us about the significance of the pig in the ancient time, like I said, in a farming community, 1,000 years ago. They honored the pig, like this is far back in 2,500 BC. So at that time of the history, the farming community where the farmer play a significant role. And pig is a very important animal in that time in a community. So they have ritual ceremony honoring the pig. And then from the pig is evolving into the dragon. So there are many story legends that Dennis did some research and he collected all these items to the years. And when he came to Maui to the Walking Museum, each Chinese New Year, he will bring all the special items related to that particular year. Like we are still in the year of the dog. So I already shared that Dennis brought a 2,000-year-old tomb dog this year and talk about how the dog saved humankind during the big flooding and people have no food to eat. The dog went into the muddy field, came out with the grain of rice, and the farmers start to grow rice. So that story, we still in the dark years, okay, until February the 4th. So we like to honor the dog at this time also and say goodbye to the dog. And because the dog play important role, is like planting the seed, preparing us to start the completion of the year. Actually, the 11 animals already play the role, helping us. So in our life, the same. We are. It's like we're preparing the soil, like a farmer, cutting the branches, and now it's time for the completion of the cycle. It's come to the peak. Yes. So from the peak is a new beginning of the new cycle. So that's why the elders said this year important. For the peak, we have to clean up things, like on the old branches, preparing the soil. Anything we don't want, have to let go, clean up ourselves, and completing the cycle of the 12 animals. Start the new beginning next year of the rat year. Start the first animal again with the new cycle. So that what this, when we look back to the history, we see all this ancient the artifacts that we have. We told a story for us to learn from, and a message from the ancient time for us to understand. So now we look forward to share our story during the New Year's. So, and people will come and learn why the pig is the origin of the dragon. Because through the ceremony that the farmers have during the farming, doing farming, and the evolving of the ritual ceremony, slowly into the dragon.
Into a dragon. I have a question there, Yip. The dragon is like a mythical kind of creature, or is it real?
Actually, it's not real. It's the Chinese have many, they call, it's not real, but it's hold a lot of ancient wisdom story, power.
Okay.
It's one of the auspicious animals.
Right.
It's like the pig, the same. Okay. The pig is a very auspicious, the horses. So there are many special animals in Chinese tradition. When they do ritual ceremony, they will.
Okay.
But the dragon is special because the emperor, the emperor, they many related to the power.
Okay. Thank you. It's a beautiful concept, and I hear it's what's new for me is hearing the connection between the pig to the dragon. Yeah, that's a special relationship I was not aware of.
Yes,
And
I never know about this also
oh,
until when Dennis, when you know, um, when Dennis planning to come. He will be here next week. If you're interesting, I think Dennis is no better than me about all this, um, the story of the ancient time. This is what I learned from him, but he will be here next week. If you like, you can invite him to come and share more story.
oh, that would,
And
yeah, if it's possible, that would
yeah,
be a great thing. There's so much about Chinese culture that is fascinating.
actually, he bring a number of items
Okay.
that have told a story of the pig or the bull. Okay.
Okay.
This is only one sample that I
Okay.
like to share today.
Okay.
So,
Yes. No, this is perfect.
if you have any question about the the pig, the significant meaning, we can talk more
Okay.
in the
Yes.
next talk.
You're right. I
If,
will. I can come up with some questions that'll follow this one, and then we can, if something can be arranged, then for the next one we'll talk about because it'll be an ongoing year. Yes.
yes,
Okay.
but I'd like to share a little bit. For me, we are looking forward when I was a girl. We are looking forward this Chinese New Year in the family, and because their celebration is the whole month celebration. It's a whole month, like it starts 2 weeks before, like the exactly Chinese New Year is February 5th. So we have 2 weeks before the 5th. The celebration starts 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after the 5th. So it's a whole month celebration of the Chinese New Year. Would you like to know what we do? Why it has so long? What we do 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after?
Oh, yes, please share with us.
Actually, the ritual ceremony during the New Year's, when I grown up, I'm not really understand why and how they do things. The elder don't say much. The reason why we do this and how we will do, but they just tell us we should do this, we should do this. But when I came here to the Wohin Museum and worked with the Wohin Society, and then when they have a Chinese New Year celebration, I learned more. Actually, this is like my real university of life, and also learn more about my own culture. So I gain back who I am as a Chinese who born in another culture. So the connection to my own roots actually start because of the journey of traveling and coming here to Hawaii and work at the Wohin Museum, and to the research that we do for 15 years. So it's a whole process brought me to understand to this celebration. Understand from when we first do the research, the 2,000 pieces of record, okay, in the Wohin Society record. I did not know why and how we have to do it. And my Chinese not really good because we not use them. The first thing we lost is our language. And then the written language we lost. So when come here, all this record was written in Old Chinese. So it inspired me to understand. So I'm learning more by working on this project. To the year, we found the booklets that related to the Chinese New Year. And then we learn more about how the Chinese used to do things. And they are different, okay? The ceremony of Chinese New Year different community, as I said, may slightly different. And how the Chinese here in Lahaina do things, how the Chinese in Hawaii do for Chinese New Year. But only thing in common is the lion dance. They always have lion dance. Chinese New Year come with lion dance. The whole town say, oh, Chinese New Year, oh, lion dance. Everybody come here for the lion dance. Because that's one thing, everybody know the lion. Why the lion dance so significant? But they don't know why we, and they said Chinese New Year is a Gong Hei Fat Choi, Gong Hei Fat Choi. Actually, no, Gong Hei Fat Choi means Chinese New Year is Sun Min Fai Lao. But the word that they say is Chinese New Year actually is the wealth and abundance be with you. But because in the old day, it's very difficult, the life of people, they struggle to survive. So when they complete the one cycle of the farming season, celebrate the New Year, everybody have to looking forward to another year with abundance, with more wealth. So that's why it starts with Gong Hei Fat Choi, mean welcome to you. Next year we will have more food to eat, in the farming, because they're starting today in the old day. Life in the village difficult, so start a new cycle here. We say that Gong Hei Fat Choi, and then Sun Min Fai Lao, Happy New Year come. When we have food to eat, and then we will be happy. So now I understand why even the saying Gong Hei Fat Choi, people this word more than Sun Min, because it's a struggle. When our Chinese come here, they struggle to survive in a foreign country. When they make a trip coming to Hawaii, they're away from home, and the celebration bring everybody together. So it's that's why Chinese New Year is for many things that if you follow this, we put together this PowerPoint because it's really a story that bring together how we celebrate the New Year. So like you said, the 2 weeks before we will start cleaning our house. So we like cleaning the house because we are busy all year round. So cleaning the house means get rid of things that we don't want in our life, our family. And we put on this called New Year blessings, called Nin Hua. New Year blessing we put in the house on the wall, in front the gate, when we walk into the house, the front gate, and there are stories behind that. Actually, before the invention of this paper, the New Year blessing, is made from wood, the wood carving, like the plaques and couplets. Okay, and after the invention of the paper, they will put all this blessing into the paper and put around the household. And in the old day, they put in front of the house. We believe, to bring the positive thing and into the family, and for protection also, the evil spirit or the negative energy not coming in. So the red color have a power of protection also. So that's the meaning behind. So we're cleaning the house now. We put the red, and then we make lots of food, preparing before the New Year's, and also a lot of believe things to do. Like if you own any people's money, you have to return the money you own. To start a good year, you don't own any money. You don't borrow money from people, and you have to return the money and start the good year clean. So there are many details what people like to do to start a good New Year. So, and this is the tradition start from because the kitchen is important. We believe in the kitchen. There is a kitchen god who took care of the family and who play important roles in the family and community. The kitchen god will do it in the New Year Eve. During New Year Eve, we will offering the sweet candy, incense, and pray for the kitchen god. So we believe the kitchen god will go to the heaven and report all the good things about the family, the positive thing to the family. So the kitchen like a center of the family and the community, because food is important. It's for everybody. Is important in the Chinese culture. So we honor, pray the God in the kitchen. And another aspect, will I move the next slide? This is the New Year. That during that I mentioned before, it's like a family reunion. They come together during the New Year's. The New Year Eve, like a Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, people come to have a meal together. And that there are significant meaning of the food that we eat also, that interesting, why we eat this. Like this is as represent, it brings good luck, keep the unity of the family. So they have a symbolic meaning, even the food that we eat. And I remember some elders said the family important, the members, they have to make a journey home for the Chinese New Year dinner, New Year Eve. And if you cannot make it home, some family will have a chair for you, an empty chair to honor that you are a member of the family and let your spirit be with us. So that was how important the family in our culture and tradition, and how to passing down the family tradition. Yeah, and you have any question before I move on?
I just wanted to say that's a very beautiful concept there, to have the chair, an empty chair, represent the family member who happens to be missing. And maybe it's they didn't make it, or could it also be that an empty chair would be my grandma passed away, and this is also for ancestors who passed on. Could an empty chair?
The empty chair is for the family who are living family. But
Okay.
We will honor our ancestor, the loved one who passed away at the New Year. So one of the slides, we do ceremony.
Okay.
For the ancestors. That's important.
Yes.
One of the slides you will see.
Okay.
They will honor the first day, or maybe can I come later? We will talk about the first day of the New Year's. In the morning, we will do a ceremony honoring our ancestors who passed away. So this slide showed a very interesting concept when the Chinese New Year, the first meal of the year, they will eat a jai, it's a vegetarian, traditional Chinese food for the New Year. It's a jai. Jai is like a monk food. It's the food of, it's vegetarian. Okay, so they start, this is a food that people love to have beginning of the New Year's, is having this tradition of jai, and all the symbolic meaning, as I said, ingredient put into this food, that also very interesting to learn from. But they put one thing that is not vegetarian, is the dry oyster. At the center, you see the dry oyster, the Chinese call ho xi, is symbolize good luck and good fortune. So, but that is not vegetarian. But we put that because it's the symbolic good meaning of this dry oyster. So So like I will highlight a few things like peanuts. We call fasan. Peanuts symbolize birth and also symbolize abundance. There are plenty of them. And then the other interesting thing is the black moss. You know, they pat choy. They in Cantonese, mean choy means abundance or wealth. So they put this black moss fat choy because the sounds of the moss or fat choy symbolize wealth. You can see it's surrounding wealth, abundance, and good luck. So they eat this to have start a good new year with abundance and wealth, and unity in the family, and also long life, longevity. They use bamboo stick, which look like, you know, the bamboo symbolize long life. So, and the water chestnut symbolize unity. So the family important. They have to unite, helping each other to survive in the old days. So that's why they have to helping each other, keep the family together. Unity in the family is significant. And then they for longevity, for wealth. So these are surrounding this good positive things in life. And also for the survival in the old days, they have to survive another year. Is that interesting? So you like to move another slide?
Oh, yes, let's come here.
So this one, I'd like to share. I like this concept too. But I have a sample here, okay? Everybody know what is like C, the red envelopes for good luck. They will give to the children during the New Year Eve when we have dinner together. And the parents, grandparents will give to the child. And it's not according to how much money inside, but it's a teaching for the children how to, the first money we not spend, we will save it for the future. Use the money, take care of our parents and grandparents. So, and the children will start learn how to save money and manage the money properly. So that's the teaching behind the Lycee. But I like to share channel. I bring one. This is the first Lycee. It's not in the slide. Can I share with you? It's before the invention of the red paper. Before invention of the paper and make into the red envelopes like this. Okay, the red envelopes for put the money in for good luck. In the ancient time, I learned this is from the research. They use this red thread with the ancient, because this is the money in the old days with the hole, and you string this and then tie in the baby's waist. And this is the first Lycee. And because so many children in the old days, they could not survive. They died young because the life, the socio-economic life in the family are very challenging. So very few children in the family can survive. So when the child survives, so the parents, grandparents, very happy. So they put a red string with the points and blessing the child in the waist of the child, and said, "Oh, we are so happy and blessing for another good year to come." So that this is the first Lycee, very interesting for us to learn and to honor the tradition, why we use this and how, what meaning before the invention of the the paper, okay, into this form. And today they use this for feeding the lions for good luck. Feeding when the lion dance, they always say for good luck, they put the lions, feed the lions for good luck. But in the old days, that's the tradition. Yeah. You have any question with this? Interesting, huh?
That is so interesting. I never realized that the coin is what preceded the paper envelope. Yeah, but
yeah,
you're
this is a first light seed.
first I see.
I learned this not too long ago.
Oh.
I did not know this before. So when I came here, but this is one thing I really enjoy learning and understand why it's true before the invention of the paper. This is represent the blessing for the new year to the child.
Very good. Thank you so much for sharing this part. That's important. Yeah. Okay. So I come back to the.
So I like to. Yeah, I think you will go to after the give this for the children. This is the one about ancestors.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay, the ancestor that you asking when during the ancestor offering for the New Year's. You see, we put each family. We very important the aspect of the ancestors. And not only Chinese, many traditions. We always remembering our ancestor and honoring ancestors. So during Chinese New Year, we will do offering food, rice, wine, and tea, or this okay together in front of family altar. Each family will have a family altar for the ancestor and our loved one who passed away. And then we will go to pray and offering blessing for the new year. So the significant because to remembering honoring ancestor for the continuity of the family lines. Also in the tradition, we believe the ancestor spirit always with us in the and protect us and give us guidance, keep the family together and blessing us. So in time of challenges, when we went to a hardship, so they always come to give us spiritual support. So that's the significant meaning, how important the tradition of ancestor offering, and we always remember ancestors.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's very beautiful. Okay, I'll come to business. Opened.
So that I say that the food for the New Year's also have a symbolic meaning.
Okay.
The gum, orange, tangerine, the nian gao, Chinese New Year cake. That's also essential. Because of the stickiness, mean the nian gao. The word nian gao gao mean progress. So it's a good meaning of this special food. Okay. For the New Year, we will eat and we will share with our family. And the gum, the Chinese orange tangerine, the sound of the gum is wealth. That is one of a very special offering that we use also. Is a gift we bring to our friends and family, are welcoming. And this is a chai hub also interesting. So this one is one of the artifacts left at the Wohin Society Hall when the Lahaina Restoration Foundation came and restored this building, turned into museum, 1984. So it is one of the items of our Wohin research. The Chinese writing there called Wohin Gongxi means it's a Wohin corporation. So we have and then the small little letter on the right hand side means Lahaina. So that's the name of the town was written in Chinese. So very interesting how they this is artifacts make us understand that called Lahaina was written in Chinese and used the capture the word, the sound Lahaina in a Chinese written language. It took us many years to understand what is this tree character. That is the name of the town, Lahaina.
Well,
so interesting.
I'm sorry, I have a question. Is Lahaina a Chinese word then?
No,
Oh, no.
Lahaina is the name of this town, Lahaina.
Right.
But in the Chinese, the 2,000 pieces of record have this character here.
Okay.
Because the Chinese put our record, they want to mention this piece of artifact, like this choi hub belong to Hawai'i Corporation from Lahaina.
From Lahaina. Ah.
That's why they put Lahaina mean the Hawai'i Corporation is here in Lahaina town. And many records, like a wooden flag, they will use the same, but like a Molokai, Lanai Island, they use a Chinese word captured the sound of the tone of Lahaina. Lahaina, Lanai, Molokai, or Kula. So this is all the name of the islands. They also written in Chinese word that capture the word of the islands in English, but written in Chinese word. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. What I comprehend about English, they're just written letters, just like German and just like Japanese kanji. But with Chinese language, it's more a picture that takes a whole meaning. It's not just a single brush stroke. So this Lahaina in the Chinese characters is actually would you be able to say the corresponding Chinese word for each character?
Actually, that is Lahaina.
Ah, okay. Wow.
Yeah, but the meaning of the word is different.
Right.
They just use that sound.
Okay.
The Chinese written language capture the word Lahaina in English.
Okay. Wow. When it
comes, it's very exciting. It's a part of a very challenging process to translate the 2,000 pieces of document and artifacts. So this is a sample of one artifact. Have this Chinese tree, this tree character. What the meaning? How we translate this?
Oh my gosh!
That's why it took us a long time to translate, to understand this tree word is captured is the Lahaina town.
Okay. Well, when you happen to find out what the actual characters translate to, I would love to hear what they mean when it comes up. No hurry.
I don't think I will. No, they may not have. They have different meaning, but the important aspect in this situation means it shows that this town, the name of this town of Lahaina. So that's why I think the Chinese here, they're very smart. They know, and the way of writing can be different. Okay, like a Maui town, Maui Islands. you can write it different way. Even today, the Chinese newspaper, they will write the word Maui Tao in island, the islands of Maui. It was written in Chinese character in many ways. It can be written in many ways to capture how you call Maui, the islands of Maui in Chinese, Maui Tao in Mandarin. There are many dialects also to use. So in a Chinese paper in Honolulu, they will use the Mandarin. They will use a different dialect, but the Chinese in Lahaina, they speak Cantonese and also Hakka. So they slightly different from Mandarin. So the word that the word that they use in a Chinese newspaper in Honolulu, they will use different Chinese word, different from the Chinese here in Lahaina.
Okay.
Because Lahaina only this one, they will use the word that close to the dialect that they speak. Okay.
Okay. And
Is that
that's so exciting that you'd mentioned it's Cantonese and Hakka. So what are the two? What is the difference between these two?
Actually, they all Chinese. They came from different areas. In majority from our research, the people coming to Hawaii from southern part of China. And at one time, a lot of Hakka people, and also they call the Cantonese people. They call themselves can be Punti. They have a word called Punti and Hakka. But the Punti people mean local. The Hakka, like people who are guests, you just come, Hakka. So they just called the group of Chinese ancestors who make a journey from certain area in southern part of China. Majority from Canton, Guangzhou, or some from Fujian area. So they speak different dialect, and they like for me, I come from Yanpeng. They are Sayap region, Yanpeng, Hoi Peng, Sanwu. This is all the four regions. They all speak Cantonese, but they the dialect slightly different. Like my dialect from the village called Toi San, slightly different from the Cantonese from the city or from Hong Kong. They speak Cantonese. So that's why it's very interesting to learn how and why, and they sometimes they get along, sometimes they not so get along. But they all because of the situation back home in China at that time, that why Dr. Sun Yat-sen started the revolution. There was no hope during the Qing dynasty before 1911. So people suffer no hope. So a big wave of people escaped from China, left China, and make a journey to different parts of the world for a better life, for the survival of the family. Because they're starving to death, and the political situation, the socio-economic is in a dark time in the history in China. So that's the reason they have to leave their family, make a journey here, and to different parts of the world, even some go to your area. And from our research, we found the Cantonese, they speak Choi San, they are Sayap. This is the same group of Chinese that make a journey to San Francisco, to New York, Toronto, in Vancouver. They speak the same dialect from San. Okay, Sayap. That's the original from the same village far back in China. It's a part of Canton of Guangzhou. But in Hawaii, Lahaina, we have Hakka people and Punti, they call Punti. Okay, is the Cantonese. Like up country in Kula, majority are Hakka people. But they are, and then here in they are Cantonese dialect. That's why the writing Wo Hing, the name of this society, means peace and harmony, is a Cantonese dialect Wo Hing. If in Mandarin, we call her Sing. And in Hakka, maybe different. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious. Could it be that the Cantonese speakers, because they were in southern China, that they were closer to the sea, maybe, and those who were Hakka were further inland, and that's why they're up in the mountains.
The mountain, yes, yeah, they are. So that's why their migration to the lowland, to the city, and the lowland people said you are new, just visitor Hakka. And then the local people, they call them Punti, mean they are local. Yeah, you are right, because of the location and the migration. So from the mountain to that came down. And because of the war, the situation, they moved,
okay.
The tribe moving. Even my own tribe, my first ancestor far back, the Yip clan 900 years ago. Actually, I have a picture. So that's very interesting too, important for us to learn about our ancestor, where we're coming from. This is my first ancestor.
Ooh.
The Yip, I'm from the Yip clan 900 years ago. Also, the migration from different part of China, from the north came down to the south. Okay, until settled down my family in Canton, Guangzhou. And then we make a journey to Southeast Asia, many countries. And my family, I was told, they got in a boat. So brought the family to Chinatown, Bangkok. Bangkok and have a lot of people from Fujian. They speak Beijing. So but I'm Cantonese. So I came here, and through the research, I found my ancestor coming. So you can find the connection of your ancestor in the Chinese way. There are different ways. The direct way is the bloodlines, and where I found my first Yip ancestor. This is from the clan. Like I'm from the Yip clan. You can find the Wong, the Cheng. There are many family names here in Hawaii. So you can tracing back to your family lines. So this is my first ancestor of the Yip 900 years. So we related to the clan. And you can relate it to the village where you're coming from. Like you're coming from Fujian, so the relation from Yanping. So I have ancestors coming here to Lahaina, to the Wo Hing. Like Ah Weng, the last cook of the Wo Hing, father of Auntie Mata, from Yanping. That's the village my father coming from. My father was born. So we related to the village where we coming from. Okay, and then to the bloodlines. That's a direct connection to the bloodlines.
Wow, thank you for sharing. That's it's a real honor to be able to hear somebody who is a foreigner learning about the culture, your own culture, and being able to find the lineage back, to see your first ancestor, really, the Yip ancestor. Wow.
Yes, life we never know. Sometimes it's a calling where and why you end up in some area.
Yeah.
You know, that totally different, like you, totally different from your ancestor home. Mm-hmm. There must be a reason, a purpose for our journey that brought us to different parts of the world.
Yes, definitely.
And there may be some calling for us to do something there.
Mhm.
I did not. At first, I did not know. Now I believe I more and more there is a plan in our life, and there's a purpose in life
That's
for
true.
each of us if we believe.
Yeah.
And you follow that calling, this really exciting journey of ancestral work.
Mhm.
So that's my PhD training. I'd like to thank you, Dr. Atila Colorado, who started this indigenous science and PhD in traditional knowledge that taught us to know who we are, where we come from.
Mhm.
And the journey of ancestral work is brought, it is like a tree, a tree when you know your roots, where the roots go deep into the soil, and the tree will go bear fruits and beautiful blooming and the fragrance. And that's how the elders said the important to learn who we are, where we
Yip, we really need to do
the
perhaps
Chinese.
the next one on your
Yes.
paper, your research, because that is
Mhm.
very fascinating. And I can see you're very passionate about it, and I would like to also share this when you're ready. Yeah.
Thank you. So this choice have we prepare in each family, as I said, 2 weeks before the New Year's. We prepare things in the home, cleaning up, put the New Year blessing, preparing the food, and 2 weeks after we prepare this choice hub, we welcoming our guests coming to the family to visit us, and then we go to visit our friends and family. So these are all the compartments with all the sweet fruit and dry fruit that have a good meanings to welcoming the New Year. Okay. So we like move to another slide. See, and this is during. There are many beliefs in the Chinese, as we said, how because our the life in the ancient time, a lot of challenges, obstacles. So they have this is the amulet charms, or this thing is come to for protection. It's interesting item that have a symbolic meanings that we believe there is a spiritual power to start the bring blessing for the New Year's and bring wealth to the family, to your business, to protection to your home and family and the community to be safe and to be happy. So it's follow the Taoism. There's a cycle of thing of nature and understand the elements, the interaction of the elements. Okay. So it's okay that, and I will share a little bit before closing about the lion dance, that how significant. If you're interested, I really like to spend on the lion dance, have many symbolic meanings and have a long history far back many thousand years. And it's an art of lion dance. In the old days, when they start, is a ritual ceremony. Okay, and during the emperor time, and like, as I said, it's come from Persia, and then it start to evolving to the history. Into today, it's become a very all over the world. We have a big competition of lion dance become a sport, become any special from birth to death. Like you can have a lion dance for weddings, for opening the store, for Chinese New Year, and even for funeral. So it's covered in all aspects of life. Lion dance become tradition. And then that's the dragon. So come to being for Chinese New Year blessing. They have many stories about why we do lion dance, because they will um, bring good luck and get rid of the negative energy for protection also. So, and blessing the whole community, like in Lahaina town, they will have lion dance. We start from the walking, blessing us, and go to the whole town, blessing the whole town. If you're interested, we can talk about the lion dance in other town, because the whole history evolving is so exciting. How the martial arts in the old days is not start with martial arts. It's related to the Buddhism also. They use lion dance for ritual ceremony related to the Buddhists, when the Buddhists make a journey from India to China, and then the lion dance is a part of the Buddhist ceremony. And now later on, it incorporates other aspects into the martial arts, in particular during the Cultural Revolution in China, that the martial arts have to hide in themselves, and for the continuity of the martial art practice, they incorporate into the movement of the lion dance to make it survive. This is very exciting. I just know about this when I did research, prepare for your talk. So thank you for the opportunity. Very exciting to know. We learned that, when you're feeding the lion with cabbage, they have a tradition, you hang a cabbage, green lettuce for the lion to, lion have to catch the green lettuce. Actually, the tradition, the practice, because during the Qing dynasty, there's a revolution want to overthrow Qing, and they're hiding messages. It's like the moon festival. They put a message in the moon cake for the revolution. But now for the lion, they put a message in the lettuce or cabbage and hang for the lion to catch and eat. So that's how they're sending money and messages during the lion dance to overthrow. They want, it's the movement. So the political aspect interweaving with the social, cultural, and spiritual. Very interesting in the lion dance practice. And until today, how the evolving more to the years, thousands of years. Very exciting to learn from. And today, not many people know, even among the martial arts and the lion dancer masters. They don't talk about this. I think it's very significant for us to honor the history and know where it's coming from and how there is a beauty of the tradition. So when we see the lion dance, we know there's a symbolic meaning, there's a spiritual aspect, there's a political aspect, and also there's a tradition and a rich culture that hold through times of evolving to the lion dance today.
I did want to mention that the lion dance is, it originates in Persia?
Yes,
okay.
The lion came from Persia to China.
Okay.
I think yes.
Yes, and then that part about the political aspect of, let's see, messages are being passed through this ball then that would be the cabbage, that the dragon basically, or the lion basically dances and chases. Is that correct?
That is during the the Qing dynasty. Okay,
okay.
the Qing before the Doctor Sun Yat-sen Revolution. That is the Qing dynasty that this practice in particular southern part of China.
But it's a tradition that sort of is continued, but it comes from that Qing dynasty.
No, during the Han dynasty, when the lion danced for Persia, the Han dynasty 206 BC to 220 AD, when they have a foreign influence to China.
Okay.
And then the lion was given to the emperor as a gift.
Oh my gosh.
During that time.
Okay.
During the Silk Road, there is between India, Persia, and that journey that happened at that time. And also the peacock came to China that time together with the lions.
Okay, the peacock.
So interesting, from the Han dynasty.
Wow.
And then they have been evolving from the Han to many centuries. Okay, they're changing, evolving into the Qing dynasty.
Okay. Wow.
The last dynasty that the political, there is a political aspect before. Okay, at that time they do it during the war time, but during the last dynasty, the Qing before 1911, 1912,
okay,
the last emperor, that part is very exciting how they incorporate to the lion dance, the martial arts.
Wow. Thanks so much, Yip, for sharing that. I had no idea.
Yeah. So exciting. The another part is the history of Chinese. I add into your PowerPoint. China, it's a Chinese in Lahaina. But just I already mentioned on the ways, but this is show how they came in a boat, and a lot of our ancestors married the Hawai'i. So, and they during the plantation, and we have the highest number from late 1800, from 1852 that come, and that's why a lot of the Chinese New Year, the Chinese New Year celebration is carried by all the ancestors, the Chinese who left China and brought this tradition to different parts of the world. And when they come to Lahaina, they have many kind of celebration. And right in the working society here in Lahaina, they have many celebrations. The Chinese New Year is one of the festival. And then they build a society hall, like a community center, to supporting the members. And all the ritual ceremony festival is just help the community to stay together and helping each other, and also for the culture, the tradition to be continued, in a foreign land. So they play important role on this festival, ritual ceremony. So and then I share a little bit history here. You can see how many Chinese came here. Almost thousands of them came. Okay. So in Lahaina, from 1778, I mentioned that here, but come to Hawaii 1800. But the Chinese came to Hawaii maybe 1400, as I mentioned before. But the written history said 10 years after Captain James Cook arrived, is 1788. Okay, but this is interesting, and from our research, if you go online, I mentioned that the book Cooley Speak, I talked before. Please go if you have interest. Anybody want to know more about the migration of Chinese? They make a journey to different parts of the world. In this book, Cooley Speak, majority went to Africa and Latin America and working as slaves at the same period. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, for those who made it or those who ended up in Africa and worked as slaves, they were basically stolen then?
If you go to that book interview the descendants, and they have many stories. You tell different family how they make a journey. They said one thing when they left, to Hong Kong. When they leave, they will put a symbol on you, a character. A symbol said, if you got this character, what country you have to go. That mentioned in the book, okay. But sorry, please go to the book. The very exciting story we can learn from our ancestors at that time, and a lot. I met with a lot of descendants that from Africa. They said they have, from China.
Okay. Yes.
And to the intermarriage, like the Chinese here married Hawaiian. And the Japanese came after Filipino, Portuguese, Spanish. They all become one family. It happened in different parts of the world. The same, the Chinese become a part of the culture there and settle down. And that's why the Chinese New Year celebration have been evolving and integrate into the local tradition also of celebration.
Okay. Yes, I'll put a link in the video description with this when I'm done.
Yes. So can we go? I mentioned already about this. How the Chinese came, they work in the sugar cane, their contribution in the irrigation system, and how they survive by helping each other.
Okay. Yeah, and then I'll put in here.
Yes, the intermarriage with the Hawaiian.
They're such beautiful people together.
Yes.
Good mix.
So,
okay. And then here we have.
And then this one, I like to share a little bit about the Wohin Society to honor the history that we have the first society hall in the same location here in 1800. And the building today, when the Lahaina Restoration Foundation came, is in 1900, since 1983. So that's the second society hall. And then if you're interested, we can share more in the research paper about the aspect. But one exciting information from the research, we saw these shadows. Pang Sen Fat is this gentleman. It's a Chinese store opposite our Wohin Society Hall in 1800. And this photo was here at the Wohin Society, at the Wohin Museum since 1984, when the Lahaina Restoration Foundation came and Mr. Jim Lucky. Okay, and this picture have the owner of the store and the shadows here. You can see the shadows. In the photograph is the shadows of the first, this shadow is the shadow of our first Wohin Society Hall. Okay, this shadow on the right hand side is the shadow of the first Wohin Society Hall. So this only evident proof this was our building at the same location. Is that interesting? At the beginning, we did not know this building was our first building when I first came.
Oh my God!
I found the two couplets on the temple. You know, these two couplets here on the second floor. The two couplets on the second floor of the what you point. That is the shadow of the building. Okay, yeah. It's different from the building today, from the society hall today.
Wow. So this would have been a morning shot, wouldn't it?
The sun shining on the back of our society building. So that is the east, the sun shining to the building. Right. And then the shadow go right to the in front of the St. Fat Co-op.
Okay. Wow.
So this only thing proof this building was here
Mm-hmm.
at the same location.
That's amazing. Wow.
And later on, we found the two couplets in the building. You see the two wooden plaque.
Wooden plaque.
Can you point the society hall?
Oh, the society hall. Let's see.
No. This one next to it. Next
Oh,
to
here.
Picture.
Yeah, here. This one.
Yeah. And you see from the ceiling down. This is the bottom. Go up to the top.
The second
top is our, the second floor. So
this
these two couplets, on the both sides. This is the same on the left and the right.
Left
of
and
the
right.
Entrance.
Oh, of the doorway. Here, these.
Of the doorway. These two wooden plaque is inside our cookhouse today.
Okay, and the cookhouse is this one here on the side.
This is a cookhouse. We found that too. And then this is the same plaque that you have today. And the building today, these two couplets is the same like the first society.
Oh,
these two are the same here. Like these two. Okay.
Okay.
These two in the cookhouse, this is the same. And the bottom floor is the same like our building today. The name of the Hawai'i Society and the two wooden couplet plaque are the same.
Oh, these here. They also look like they have like gold leafing on them.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got that look. Let me shrink this down so we can see it here.
But these two are different. Okay, these two today the top is different.
Okay.
But the bottom is the same.
The bottom is two. These two, right.
These two are the same.
Okay.
On the entrance is the same like the entrance here. Okay.
That's this here.
These are the same one.
Okay.
And then the two here now go into the cookhouse. We found the cookhouse.
Oh,
it's exciting. That's a part of our research process to find out. And actually, I was the first one saw the shadow.
Oh.
When I asked permission to honor this picture,
okay.
And then I put this picture underneath is in the exhibit today.
Okay.
Hawai'i Museum exhibit. And when we put this picture and we saw the shadows.
Yeah, that's so really exciting. A shock. It is. I would never have thought to look at the shadow in an old picture. But it's so clear there. Wow. That's a really good eye you've got there, Yip.
And this picture was here since 1984 when the Lahaina Restoration Foundation came and have been moving between, in many exhibition boards inside the museum.
Okay.
But we did not see the shadow until we honored this building, and then the shadow popped up, and we saw the shadows.
Okay. Wow.
So interesting, huh?
It is
very exciting research project recovering and finding the missing piece of history and story of the the Hawai'i Society of the Chinese community here in Lahaina.
Oh yes, you've got the best job. Yep, you do.
I'd like to thank you, the Lahaina Restoration Foundation, because at one time we have 7 of these old buildings here on Maui during the sugarcane plantation. In each sugarcane plantation community, we have one old building similar to our first building, and one by one was falling down. Today, only 2 left, and we are one of the 2. And then if the Lahaina Restoration Foundation not come and have an agreement with the Hawai'i Society, this may not be exist. They may also disappear. So that is important, and it's a historical building, important to keep and passing down for future generations. So we are in the process of how to planning to protect all these old artifacts, wooden plaque, and complex, how to keep it, survive for the future generation. Now, it's not easy with the termites problem, with many factors here, the moisture, and very challenging to
Right.
um,
I would think.
yeah, how to protect our building.
Yeah, I can imagine that termites are a problem there.
Yeah, very big problem here.
Yeah. And let's see, the Lahaina Restoration Society, or
Lahaina Restoration Foundation.
thank you. Sorry.
It's a non-profit. Now we work together between Woheng Society. Woheng Society also is a non-profit. The Woheng Society owns the property, the building, and the Lahaina Restoration have an agreement with the Woheng Society to manage and keep as a museum today.
Okay. No, that's a very good collaboration.
They came since 1983. They came and restored the building and opened to a public as a museum 1984 until today. So you're welcome to come. We're the only Chinese museum here. So welcome all visitors come and enjoy our history. Yeah, if you come to Lahaina. This is one of the historic side. This is a historic town, Lahaina. So many other interesting museums to visit also.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I will come down here and see.
Yeah. So I share a little bit how I'm right here in this Woheng temple. When I share with you right now, and this is our main altar. And the Chinese writing on the top is the Hall of Loyalty and Righteousness. And we are doing some work to translate all these plaques and couplets. And they are teaching, they have beautiful messages for us to learn from. And the teaching of the Tao is a Taoist, Buddhist, and Confucius temple. But it's not exactly a temple. But in the old day, we have a high priest from Honolulu come and do a lot of ceremonies, and there's initiation, go to join the members under the Qigong Tong. But now there's no connection. There's a mother organization at one time, and now it's all individual. We manage and no connection like in the old day, or this society or under one mother organization and helping, supporting each other. Because for the Chinese who came here and live in different islands and city, when they travel, they can stay overnight. When they show they have a membership card, belong to the same society, they can helping each other. And this is a ancestor, the plaque inside the ancestor room on this. It shows the history of the 5 months of the Shaolin temple that survived, and the history of the whole moon. The whole moon in Cantonese is the Red Gate. It's an underground organization that's supporting Dr. Sun Yat-sen. So this is also very interesting piece of history we learned from that. The Woheng Society is a part of the movement supporting Sun Yat-sen at that time. So this plaque is inside. On the right hand side is the ancestor room. Okay. On the right hand side of the altar is ancestor room. This plaque is inside this room. Yes, this is the ancestor room that we point. This plaque is the main altar inside this ancestor room. And the right-hand side is ceremonial room, I was told. And that is the back of my, that I sit here, the back is on the left and right-hand side of mine right now too. You have any question? This is our, today our temple closed to the public, okay? not open to the public right now, only special occasions.
Okay. What are the hours for the Wohin Museum? Oh, sorry. What are the hours that visitors?
We
Yes.
open every day from 10 to 4, 7 days a week. And these are admission fee to support. As you can get a passport for 4 museums. We work together to help a visitor. It's $12 for 4 museums. And then we get a pass for 2 museums with $7. Hawai'i $5. We have a senior citizen $5. And the passport for museum, including the Bowen Home Museum, the Sugar Museum, and the Bailey House Museum. They are 4 museums hold a very important history of our town and on Maui, Hawaiian history, and during the sugarcane plantation. So the Sugar Museum, very interesting, and the Bowen Home Museum hold the history of Dr. Bowen, the early missionary coming to Lahaina, and their contribution. So this is sample of the document that I mentioned to you before, the 2,000 pieces about the when left here at the Wohin Society Hall, that the Lahaina Restoration Foundation working together with the Wohin Society to translate all these documents. And I am a coordinator of this project. When I first came now, almost more than 10 years now. And then we have a group of volunteers helping us, and we get support funding from the county of Maui, from many people helping us, but now we not receive any funding. And the project in the process of we put together first documents, okay, to understand our history. We hope to do more work in the future. If anybody have interest, let us know. We like to review all the translation of all the plaques and pamphlets. So make sure we be very careful, not misinterpretation and to honor the history. So we would be waiting for people who can come and help us review the English translation from the Chinese, old Chinese writing of the plaques and pamphlets.
Okay, so this sounds like a volunteer opportunity.
Yeah, it's a volunteer. If someone have interest, have time, and like to learn more, can please let us know, can come and join us. And I work with a group of volunteers in the past year. They come from all over the world. Wow. They are Chinese descendants from Taiwan, Singapore, mainland China, overseas Chinese. They're helping us do the translation work. But now everybody busy and the project resting. But it's an exciting project to continue, and we are in the process of organizing all the record already digitized in the computer systems. So easy, we like to make a system easy to access. So if you can be in any part of the world, you can access to the records. So we are in the process of reorganizing and complete in digital form.
Okay, that's great. And so people don't need to come physically to Lahaina, but they can get in touch with you and
yes.
Do translation work.
To the.
Okay, great.
And if they have interest, we can share, because very interesting story that we found from this research project.
Yes, it looks like
for us to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Still a lot of missing piece of history we like to look for in this record. We can missing history may come back to us. So these are few documents about Dr. Sun Yat-sen, okay? On the right-hand side on the top. And this is the record of the donation booklet. And this is a Chinese New Year next to it, the red one in the center. This donation, this one. And these are the receipts. Then people came here, they donate money, helping the society on the bottom here, in the central bottom. This next to it on the left hand, these are donation receipt when you come. The members, they supporting the society by donation. They got these receipts. And then next to it are these cute little wooden plaque and the names of the members when they came to volunteer. They're coming here to help the society, and they will have their names, their timing, and that they will come to do volunteer work. And on the top, the circle thing is a gift that they will receive when they give donation to the modern society. Very interesting. They make a gift here.
It is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And that's the domino games. They must play games here, and they play mahjong also. We have all mahjong sets here. So each pieces, they carry an interesting story of the old days for us. So when I work on this project, it's very exciting for me to find and learn more, to understand what that means, what messages, and see the connection of this, the information from all the records. This is the written records, how it connects with the wooden plaque and couplets. Okay. And also some photographs. So to see the connection of all this information, really exciting. So now I have to put everything I learned into writing and that process. And English is my 5th languages.
Oh, what languages do you speak, Yip?
I speak, the first dialect is Khoisanese. I went to school, I learned Mandarin, I speak Cantonese, and I work for the tribal people up in the mountain in Thailand. I speak Thai and I speak the local northern dialect. Also, when I live up in the mountain 35 years ago, this long time, Thailand.
Oh my goodness!
And, when I came here, I don't know much English. I have to learn. So this project really allowed me to learn more, decide about myself, who I am, is about, I gain more confidence, and also now I can, before I never can speak like this or stand up to talk. Now I in the process of learning, but I gain a little bit more confidence, and what I learned, I can share. Now I learn more after 15 years. This almost 20 years I live here. So I feel like the things I learned, I love to share with the visitor who come, and when you ask me, at first I'm not sure I can do this video conference, but this is a second one. I gain a little bit confident that I can manage the technology and I can share the story and what I learned to you. And I'm so exciting to know the story now can travel to different parts of the world through your connection, and maybe make us come closer. Maybe people from different part of the world can come, and that's make me feel very good. It's very exciting time too. That's the teaching of Sun Yat-sen, that I believe the whole world as one family. That's the dream of Sun Yat-sen. Is for us, for the whole world can become one family. Or thiền siêu Wei Gong, the 4 eye universal love, how we can create a whole world as one family. Maybe this is something to explore, how we can make Sun Yat-sen's dream come true. But thank you for the opportunity. I really enjoy learning new things and share what I know.
Well, Gerard and I, on behalf of the Tales of Hawaii, we really thank all the effort of just sharing and getting the technology needed so that we can do this video conference with you. So I do realize the significance and the importance of Chinese culture. And so with this new year, it really helps clean up the old stuff and to bring forth the new. So thank you.
Yes, we will start a good New Year's. The message said we will start a good New Year's and everything in a good way and think positive and be thankful for
Now, I did notice we had a few more slides here. Let's see here. Looks like we have 12 more slides. If you're okay on time, or
yes.
or how are you doing?
Yeah, it's okay. If it's okay, you like go.
Yeah, we can finish up the 12 here, and I'll just put me on mute, and then you can go through them. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So I share about the research, the 2,000 pieces, and then this is the document, 3 of them about the Wohin Temple and the celebration of the Chinese New Year. Okay. So this is a 3 sample of the 103 booklets that we found here at the Wohin Society Hall. And then this is, we mentioned about the timing and their donation. And the rest of the slides is about the Chinese, how the Chinese New Year celebration worldwide. So we pick a few slides to share and to honor the tradition that spread to all the world, to the ancestors from China, okay, who make a journey to different parts of the world. And so this is a very beautiful tradition that we celebrate. And you like this map, huh? It's quite an old map, and it shows the connection of people from China make a trip to all over the world. And you like start. So when the Chinese travel to different parts of the world, as I said, this a few things. This is in China. They honoring. They use incense as one of the ancestor offering with incense and candle. And many traditions will use candle and incense offering in ritual ceremony also. A symbolic meaning is the incense will, lighting incense, the smoke will build a connection with our ancestors. And also in many, like the lion band, in a ceremony, they use lighting the incense. You will have some representation. They have 3 incense, 1 incense for the heaven, and the second incense for the earth, the third incense is for humankind. So there are different interpretations of the numbers and the symbolic meanings in offering. And the candles, there are 2 candles of offering, and you can see the candles. Can some elders say if you represent the sun and the moon, the male and female, and some explanation said they light the candle for the journey for up to the heaven, and another candle for the journey to return back to the earth. So you can see the ritual ceremony can be many interpretations in some way, what's significant. Because in different community, the Chinese may interpret slightly different, but there are something in common we can learn from and accept the different. There's no one way of doing things in some way. So, and this one is in Kuala Lumpur. So in Southeast Asia, a lot of Chinese in Kuala Lumpur, the lantern is significant in the way they lighting the light, and they believe they bring you good luck and blessing. So many lantern festival, and they always have in a special occasion, special building. Yeah. And then the next one, this is from in India. You see, the Chinese community in India celebrate the line dance. So interesting, huh? In Southeast Asia. And these are very powerful. This is in France, Paris. So the dance, the movement of the dance, also interesting combined in the line dance. So this is in England, London. They do the dragon dance, and they have a ceremony before the dragon dance or the lion dance, a special ceremony opening the eyes and giving light to the lions and to the dragon also. That's also a lot of symbolic meanings. This is in Ireland. So interesting. So they are the red color. So different community, they have a community celebration. This is the second week after the New Year's. It's a community and family celebration. So the line will go to the street and blessing the town. As I said, happen in Lahaina town. So now back to, I said at the Wohing Museum and Society Hall. So we have a celebration and continuity of the Chinese New Year for many years by the Chinese community and by the Lahaina Action Community. Theo Morrison with the Lahaina Action Community, the whole town celebrate the Chinese New Year, and later with the Wohing Society also have a celebration among the members to the records here. And then from the now the Wohing Society all here at the Wohing Museum is a center of the celebration. The line then you start from here, blessing our community, and then make the lion wheel dancing move along the way to the shop to the end of the town. And we have invited martial arts come and do some to challenge us. The martial arts. We will set up an exhibit. This is a cultural exhibit display how we celebrate the New Year's. Why and how we do things. So that the senior will come, the preschool, we invite the local community to come enjoy. And the community is a community effort. So all the volunteer from our community and the visitor who come to our town, to Maui at this time. We like to invite them come to join and to volunteer, be a part of the event and the celebration also. So it's a community event that make it happy and working together. So it's a beautiful tradition, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity to learn, to work together with everyone.
Yes, well, Yip, I want to thank you so much. I do realize it's gone up for a couple of hours, and I apologize for stretching things out like this. But so fascinating, the information, and especially your the Wuhing Society and the Lahaina Restoration Foundation. It's very good work.
It's very exciting time. The children, they come back. The children of the Wuhing Society, they finish their school, like Jacqueline, she used to be event coordinator. They all come back and work with us and to keep the culture tradition. That is very exciting.
Okay, yes.
For us.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So let me see. I'm just going to do a. If there are any final words you'd like to say on behalf of the Wuhing Society before we close up, and then I will upload this to the channel and then send you a link. Go ahead and please share if you'd like.
Yeah, we'd like to thank you for the opportunity to share our story, and also for the New Year's. We like to send blessing to everybody for good health, for happiness, for joy. I like to say Sun Yin Fai Long and Gong Hei Fat Choi. Wonderful coming years of the peak for the family, and take care each other, take care our health, be happy, and have a peace of mind. And hope our community will, in a good place, and the world will become a beautiful world for us that we dream for.
Thank you so much, and Gung Hei Fat Joy too. Things will be a great year of change.
Yeah, great year of change, no matter what. We prepare ourselves for the best thing, and holding together and helping each other in the time of crisis year.
Okay.
We trust they will be sending my spiritual support. I know the world is in there are many darkness. That's the nature of life. We need to take care of things, take care of our environment, and also.
Yes, it's so true.
Take care of ourselves.
Yes. Things will be. It will be a good year of change, and this is the year to clean everything up.
Yes, and we will work together to make it happen in a positive way.
Yes, that's true.